see this. It's one of those things that goes on behind the scenes once again. And you can just see the actual HTML here. I've just highlighted that for you. It's not really hugely important nowadays. The way sort of search engines look at pages, they don't really take, they don't sort of have very much value on these sort of keywords. But it's always good practice to include it on all of your pages. And in the same way as we've talked about the actual page titles and page descriptions, you sort of want to make the best use of it, and also have it unique for each page within your website. One of the ways that I sort of use keywords is, and it appears to sort of work quite well, and it's something that I would recommend that you do as well, is try and have your keywords in small or short sort of keyword phrases, like two or three word sort of keyword phrases, rather than just sort of individual sort of keywords. I feel that it sort of helps within the sort of search engines. I think it sort of helps them sort of understand your page a little bit better, rather than just having sort of 30 individual keywords. I personally feel that it's better to have some short phrases, as you can sort of see here. And just on the sort of one of the secondary sort of pages, same thing again, but obviously you can see it's more sort of focused on that page, same as was done before for the actual description and page titles up there. So that's it, basically it for the actual keywords meta tag. Okay, so the next thing to share with you guys is heading tags. Heading tags are used, or should be used, when you have your sort of websites, the actual sort of page content. Generally what you will have is, or want to have, is sort of subtitles effectively for each area of the actual sort of page content. In this case there's only just sort of one right at the top there, and if I just sort of select this text here, you can see obviously it describes the actual page itself, which is always a good practice, and is something that I would recommend for you to do as well. So just type in exactly what sort of the page is about. Of course you've already sort of done it in your sort of page title and the actual sort of page description, but it's also good to have it within the actual visible content on the actual page itself. So you just want to sort of add that sort of subtitle in there, but what you also want to do is include the heading tag. In this case it's the actual H1 sort of tag. I'm going to include like a HTML sort of template at the end of this video. There'll just be a link or something at the bottom, so you can see here, this is the actual sort of H1 tag. There's all different sort of heading tags. Basically it's like a numbered order, so you have H1, H2, H3, H4 and so on. Obviously H1 is the most important. Whatever your sort of your page sort of description is, or whatever it's about, just include the text at the top, and then instead of just having it sort of bold or whatever sort of font, you can still have the sort of the styling via your CSS. Don't really sort of want to go into that, but if you just encompass that particular piece of text with just a H1 tag, and obviously sort of close it off there as well, that will give sort of the search engines a better understanding of what the content is on the page. Sorry to ramble on a little bit there. Okay, moving on. The next thing I'd like to sort of give you some tips on is using anchor text properly. And what anchor text is sorry, just go back to the actual main page here. This is obviously all your sort of your regular text on your page. Same again here. If I just move down, anchor text is like, you can see these sort of links here. So they're actual sort of links, and they go off to sort of other pages, but they're also that's text. Let me sort of move up. It's not a very sort of good way to describe it. So let's just say we've got select the console. So if I wanted to have that as a link, I could just actually select it, and then I could link that to one of my pages. So that would be considered an anchor text link. So what you want to do is, instead of just having, say, click here or more info or download this and sort of those type of text links, what you want to do is have something that makes sense. So for example, here you can see it's PlayStation 3 repairs, PS3 repair, Nintendo repair, and these pages. So the actual anchor text is what that next page is, rather than just saying click here or more info. So you can just see here, if I just select that, and then just down in the properties, you can see that it actually links to a page called PSP repair. So that's how you use sort of anchor text. Okay, so the next thing is page file names. You could see just a moment ago when I actually selected the actual anchor text here for PSP repair, you can see that it actually links to a page called psp-repair.html. This is a good way to sort of help search engines understand the layout of your website, and also the actual details about those pages. And I personally feel that it sort of helps give you a little bit of boost within the search engine rankings if your pages are called or the actual sort of page titles are relevant to the actual page. Sorry, not the actual page title. The actual page file names are relevant to the actual content on the page. And so you can see that one obviously links to PSP repair, the PS3 repair, anchor text links to PlayStation 3 repair, Nintendo, so on and so forth. So yeah, you can use the actual page file names. You can use those with quite good effect. What you want to do is just include whatever the actual page is actually about. Just include that and save it as your sort of file name. So you can see just at the top here, these are the file names: PlayStation-3-repair. So yeah, use those as your file names. If you're sort of not too sure whether you should use no spaces or hyphens or underscore, I would say use hyphens, as in sort of the case here. I don't think it really makes very much difference. Google can sort of determine separate words, from one another. For example, if you had dog training, Google can differentiate, dog from the training. You don't necessarily need a space in that, but I generally sort of as a rule for myself, do include a hyphen. It just makes things a little bit easier to sort of manage. So yeah, save your pages. Don't save them as page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, and so on. Save them with a page title that's relevant to the actual page itself. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about in this video, because I don't really want it to run on too long, don't want to overwhelm you with these practices to put in your business. Yes, the last thing is best uses for images within your website. I'm just going to move on to one of these other pages. So yeah, there's kind of a few sort of main things I want to talk about. Images. The first and foremost is with the image itself, and whatever the image is on your website, and if it's related to the product and service that you offer, you want to save that image with same as the actual sort of page file names. Save the image with a file name that's relevant to what the image is about. So for example, this page is obviously all targeted to PlayStation 3 laser replacements, and if I just sort of click the actual image itself,